lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
Four wide receivers. Pressure steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors! What a cut.
And the Gotta Get It Classic rolls on from Grand Rapids. It's Zeeland West against the Cass-Tech Technicians, the state champions from a season ago, led by Steve Hall, to take on the West Side Zeeland West. Chad Bush, Evan Stockton with you. Game 3 partner. So far this tournament's been fun to watch. It's about to pick up here with one of the best from the city and the state to take on a very maybe underrated Zeeland West club.
Yeah, so Zeeland West just played less than 24 hours ago. They lost at Muskegon, a team that Cass-Tech knows very well. That's who they beat in the state championship game last year. This is an awesome test for Cass-Tech because Zeeland West is big, man. You go through their starting lineup, 6'3", 6'5", 6'2", 6'5", 6'6". This is a west side of Michigan team, every sense of it. Big dudes all over the place and some talented players all over the place. Alderac, the 6'6" senior, over 1,000 points in his high school career. He's going to play at Indiana State. First ever D1 hoops player that Zeeland West has ever had. I don't want you to be fooled by the loss that the Ducks had last night. It's a really good basketball team.
Ducks, D-U-X,
yes.
By the way.
Yes.
Which is awesome to have. Meanwhile, Cass-Tech, they lost some guys last year. They won a state title. Are they undervalued at this point? They are undefeated, but some folks say, they've lost a lot. Well, they did lose a lot.
They literally lost the whole starting five. And they lost Darius Acuff, who's a top 15 recruit in the country in his class, to IMG Academy. But this is the guy. I know you're sick of hearing about Corey Sadler playing football. I won't stop talking about him. The dude's awesome. And then on the basketball court, what a find he has been. 11 points per game, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. One of the smallest players on the court, does everything for Cass-Tech. And I'm excited to watch him today, Chad, because this program has barely lost in the last 2.5 years.
The Technicians also get Amari Johnson back. He's been out most of the year due to illness, so he is back and in there, one of the bigs for this club. All right, we're underway. Zeeland West with the basketball, the Ducks, DUX in white. And moving the ball to the corner, 4-3, Splash City. That's Trenton Bullhouse, the senior, for 3. And some good ball moving on possession 1.
And I am here to tell you, based on that reaction from the Zeeland West bench, if you don't think this game means something to them, not only are you playing the state champs, it's West Side against East Side. And every school on the West Side thinks that they're better than the East Side.
Yeah, and a bigger target on the backs of Cass-Tech this year with that state title in their back pocket. This is a fresh face in the lineup. It's Stevie Hall, the true freshman and the son of the head coach, Steve Hall.
And his dad is no easier on him than anyone else, but he loves the way that Stevie has matured throughout the season.
Already a couple of Division I offers for young Stevie. Shot off the mark, no. Second chance opportunity not coming. Good hustle by the Ducks. But the Technicians will get it back in black, right to left.
By the way, shout out to both of these teams for the easy-to-read numbers on the jersey. A, white against black, old school jerseys. I'm a fan. I like it.
Easy to see. So are the mint green shoes by the Cass-Tech Technicians.
They are bright.
And the green guys showing off all kinds of shades. That is Johnson in the alley-oop. Missed it, got it back, and will miss the short-range jumper.
He makes that dunk in a couple of weeks. Amari's been coming back from injuries and illness so far this season. Just missed time, but a couple of good cracks for Amari.
Got a tough matchup against that man. That's Merritt Alderac, the future Sycamore of Indiana State. Corey Sadler with an offensive foul. He ran over the Zeeland West defender who stood in there. That's Trenton Bullhouse going back the other way.
Corey's a darn good basketball player as well as football, but the problem he does run into, he ran in this in the state championship game last year, A lot of fouls. He can rack them up real quick. Now it's different. Corey was coming off the bench last year. He's a starter and relied upon this year. But his football aggressiveness can sometimes bite him in the backside.
There's the defensive prowess. And that's Corey Sadler. That's a jumper, and that's good. Offense from defense is the name of the game for this Cass Tech defense. It comes at you in waves.
They wear T-shirts before the game that say Press Tech, and they mean it. These guys never let up.
No, they don't. Part of who they are. Early on, it's 4-3. Technicians by 1. Corner 3, no. Missed it this time. Same spot, made it last time. And you see a push off.
Oh, wow, they called that on Aldrich?
Yeah. And Johnson and Aldrich going at it there afterwards.
Well, watching it live, I think everyone in the gym assumed that it would be on Lee Harris, 15, but apparently it was on Aldrich. Refs have got a better look than we do.
Zone defense. That means Miller's going to fire one up. He's their leading scorer. Puts up 20 a game. That's off the mark. Zeeland West going to spread that floor out. They've got some shooters to work with, and Aldrich working that high post. 3-0. Big boy rebound by Johnson. Scooped out of there. Miller on the run. Now Sadler, the sophomore sensation with over 20 high major offers as an athlete in football. Gets busted here, but Steve Hall says, look, this guy gets overlooked as a basketball player. He truly is a natural basketball player, too.
Oh, he's one of the best athletes to come through the city of Detroit in at least the last decade. Corey is an outstanding athlete. Whatever he tries, he's good at.
That's a fact. Great defender as well. Running that baseline. The Ducks had it swatted from the backside. That's Lee Harris. Throw ahead, Stevie Hall, 4-3, Splash City for the rookie and the son of the head coach, Steve Hall. Aldrich to his teammate breaking down the paint. That's Orion Yant with a yak-yak.
Love the pace to this game so far. You never know that Zeeland West just played yesterday, and you wouldn't know that it's been a few days since Cass has played, over a week.
Tough loss to Muskegon yesterday. State finalist from a year ago. That'll stay this way. The head coach is David Klein. Brian Cochran and Corey Walters are his assistants. Steve Hall, the bench boss for the Cass Tech Technicians. What an outstanding job getting his team all the way to the finals and winning it for his alma mater a year ago, their first in school history.
You should have seen the look on his face, maybe you watched the game, of what Coach Hall looked like after they won the state championship. The sense of relief, it meant so much to him.
It's a lot of pressure to win this school. Hall saves it on that baseline. Good look down low, up and under, and the swat, but Orion's going to get busted for the foul. He can't believe it. Nate Kim said so.
Credit to Cass Tech, right? You got Yant and Aldering, two big dudes down there at 6'5" and 6'6", but they're not afraid. Harris at 6'5", Johnson at 6'6" as well. It should shape up to be a competitive game down the stretch because both the teams match up very well.
They do. Cass Tech won a tussle with a team we saw in the game before this, their rival from Renaissance. Renaissance escaping with a 4-point win behind 30 Lance Stone points, including collecting his 1,000th career point, just a junior. Meanwhile, Brian Stovall Jr. will check in. Amari Johnson, the forward, will check out. Free throw's good. So Lee Harris sinks it. And Cass Tech's +3. Kai Anderson is checked in, the junior guard. And there's Corey Sadler, who gambled. Can Zeeland West make it hurt? No. Run out. Stevie Hall, 3-on-1. Back to Derek Miller for the lay-in.
That's the guy we have to pay attention to for Cass Tech today. Miller's been a difference, just like that guy is for Zeeland West.
Orion Yant got up and got down in a hurry. He's got a quick 4, and the game's a one-possession one. 50% shooting early on for Cass. 3-ball from Miller. That's his game, or part of it. 3-level scorer. That's off the mark. And the Ducks with an X will get it back.
Yant, throwdown. Barely made the hoops team as a middle schooler. Then he had a growth spurt after his freshman year of high school. I think that dude's still growing. 13 in white and green is a problem athletically.
And he just glides. High hand Stevie Hall, the freshman, did it. He's on the run. Miller from 18. And that's going to go back to the Technicians. They'll keep it. Ball out of bounds, baseline left. Merritt Aldrink will check back in for Zeeland West. A matchup nightmare. Guy that really does some damage both in and out. Player of the year, according to the Holland Centennial Sun last year. 17 points, 9 rebounds. And the Trees from the Valley signed him. And he's headed D1.
Really proud of that fact that he's the first guy at Zeeland West to ever go D1. Wants to be an inspiration for anyone who's playing hoops there going forward. And here he comes right up the floor.
Right corner 3. He'll miss, no. Offensive rebound and a reset by Sluthak. Back to Anderson. 4-3. We're tied at 10. Just like that. Stevie Hall, no good on the 3. Merritt Aldrink working hard on that deck with Brian Stovall, and the Technicians get a new possession.
Nice little surge here by Zeeland West after Cass ran out to the lead. That's what they do to you. They get ahead and they pressure you. Good job by Zeeland West settling back in.
Zone defense. Trying to confuse the Technicians. Sadler says, I've seen this before. 19-footer, no. Merritt with a big boy rebound, and here come the Ducks. Looking to take their first lead. Bullet pass, reverse, good. That's a good catch, but a better find. Lucas Baker with a bucket.
That's why Malderink's going to be a good player in college. The size and the ability to see above the defense and the guy leaking behind.
Hall with a left-hand floater, no. And it's cleaned up by Bullhouse. And the Ducks looking to widen their lead. Right corner, wide open air ball. Miller wants to push. Little zone. See how Cass figures it out. That means Miller's open, and it's not Miller time just yet.
That's fine, though. That was good ball movement, and that's a look for your leading scorer. That's okay against a zone. You wonder sometimes when teams see a zone for the first time in a game if they get rattled. Cass was okay seeing that.
Well prepared for Steve Hall, the head coach, former Washington Husky, former Virginia Tech Hokie. He's already bagged some state titles at Detroit Rogers High School. We're in the final 10 seconds of the first quarter. A dandy of a game 3. We got a whistle off the ball, and we got a foul. It's going to go on West. It's going to be a 3-second violation. So a turnover with 2.5 seconds to go.
I mean, this Zeeland West team is battle-tested, man. Their 3 losses are to North Farmington, Rockford, and Muskegon. Like, those are really good teams. So Zeeland West is not going to be afraid playing the defending state champions.
No, they're not. 1 second, got to fire it up. Sadler at the buzzer, no good. But we got a banger in the making, and we got a 2-point ball game with Zeeland West on top of the state champs by 2. To the second we go.
Gotta Get It is a nonprofit organization that prioritizes education, creativity, and physical and mental health. We aim to cultivate resilience in youth and young adults so that they are equipped to be the change we need in our communities. We facilitate programs and coordinate projects that provide opportunities for young people to explore their interests, learn useful skills, cultivate social capital, and develop leadership skills in accordance with our mission to create a sense of urgency to accomplish unforeseen goals without making any excuses.
Ah, yes, the Ducks out of the OK Conference. They're in the green portion of it. One of the largest conferences in the country. They've got 79 teams, I think. Dan Redder is a notable alum you may have heard of. He was back in 03. He was a grad. And this was an all-state performer. Played a couple years at Grand Valley as well. And Eastern Michigan played for the Hurons too. And then you see the prospects. Alderink's one of them, but there's more on this list.
Yeah, we've already seen Orion Yant make some plays. It's just a well-built team. Yeah, they've got the size, but they've also got the athleticism to give you fits.
Matt Collins is checked in for the Technicians, wearing number 2. So is Miles Steffen for Zeeland West. He has it. Gino Bealey passes low with some funky spin, and it's a turnover trying to find Orion in the corner.
You may remember from last year's state championship game, number 2 in black, Matt Collins, the guy with the hair that's hard to miss, hit a three-pointer. The game was over, but he hit a buzzer-beater three-pointer, which just allowed the celebration for Cass Tech to start early. It was a cool moment.
I remember that. How about it? The Technicians, the kings of the state a year ago. Collins off a screen, southpaw 3, splash city. Just like you drew it up and called it, partner.
Well, this is what is fun about covering Cass Tech because they play 12 guys. Steve Hall literally plays the entire roster. So guys you've barely seen all year are stepping off the bench and making it happen.
Just the second triple of the ball game for Cass Tech. They're back in the lead by 1. Lead has changed hands a few times. Alderink, look at the ball movement.
Ant didn't believe he was that open.
No. Whistle down low, and we get a foul on Cass Tech. It's going to go on Corey Sadler. That'll be his second, and that'll be the team's first in the second quarter.
I mean, seriously, on that possession a few seconds ago, the ball movement was so good. Orion Yant catches the ball, turns around and goes, oh my goodness, I'm this open? He could have turned around and had a wide open layup. Good sign, though, for Zeeland West going for it.
It is, and they've got some fluidity to that offense. Well connected. Ball out of bounds, play corner 3, no. Saved, kept alive by Bullhouse. And a whistle and a foul. It's going to go on Cass Tech, and Zeeland West has made it tough in this end for the Technicians to get out of the end. Ball entry, and it's a late whistle, and Jalen Howell, who's checked in, we saw him in football as a safety and a receiver, gets busted for the foul. It's 3 fouls in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, and now you got a couple on Sadler.
Yeah.
Howell just picked up 1. Edens, just off the bench, picked up 1. This is good news for Zeeland West to try to get to the line.
Yep. There's the blitz. There's the trap. And Alderink gets out of it. Post entry Orion, and he was on that baseline before. He was tripped. No foul. It's a turnover. And strong, solid defense by Cass Tech.
We've talked about Corey Sadler today for Cass Tech and Derek Miller, number 3. But, Chad, you said this right as the game started. Most important guy for them is 25, Amari Johnson. He is their post presence. He's battled through injuries and some sickness this year, but he's in the lineup today. They were careful with him early, only a couple of minutes, but this is a huge stint of basketball for him.
It really is. He's being battled by Lucas Baker in that post. Test of his health. We'll see how he recovers from it, but good news for Cass Tech to get him back. Corner pass is stolen by Alderink. He wants it back, and he will get it. Alderink with a hammer, and it wakes up this West Side crowd. Oh, the oohs and the ahs. It wasn't super clean, but it counts, and it was impressive.
There's a reason Alderink is the first ever guy at Zeeland West to go play D1 hoops. That was a high-level play. Wow.
And a great feed. He knew he was going to get it back if he gave it up early. Zeeland West by 1. Collins no good with a 3, and Alderink is fouled on that baseline by Johnson. And Zeeland West starting to believe.
This is why this is a great game for Cass Tech to play with pretty much an entirely new team. There it is. Alderink is the type of player you do not see across the state of Michigan every single night you're out on the floor. Not only is he 6'6", but he's athletic as heck. That replay was an example of that.
We'll take a timeout from East Kentwood. We're happy to be on the west side of the state on this Saturday in the great state of Michigan.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss.
McKinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
4 wide receivers. Pressure. Steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors! What a cut.
What a year for the Technicians, still celebrating off that state title last season. And what a year it was. The reigning state champs, notable alumni, Tyson Acuff. Tyson, a Eastern Michigan guy, finalist for Mr. Basketball in 2020. 28 points a game, my goodness. Top 5 recruit in the state of Michigan. And went to Duquesne and then transferred to EMU and has found a home there. All the recruits on this: Sadler, Stevie Hall, offered by Nebraska, and Sadler's been offered by everybody under the sun. He's a 5-star premium athlete.
Well, right now, Zeeland West's athletes are giving them problems. Jim is still shaking after that last Alderink dunk, and time and again, Yant is giving them problems. They keep losing him down low, and that's now 6.
It's really a hard guy to lose. Such a fine player. Sadler's dish down low to Donovan Edens, who's checked in. 3-ball Miller, he's yet to really get on track. And Alderink clears to the front court.
This is just a well-connected team. They know each other very well. Balanced group, fundamentally sound.
Get a whistle, and that's a foul. Talk about all the guys in this team. The foul's going to go on Stevie Hall, the freshman, but Orion Yant, the guy has offers from Hope and Calvin, and that's great, but this is a guy that you feel like might be able to elevate his recruitment.
Well, certainly based on the way that he looks at 6'5", Yant definitely looks the part, 13 in green and white. And Alderink does too. I mean, just watching him play so far today, this is going to be a dogfight for Cass, specifically because Sadler's got 2 fouls already.
That's right. Alderink will shoot 3 here. He's a guy that can shoot it from 3. Averaging 17 and 9 a game. Substitutions. Out of the lineup goes Miles Steffen, and entering the contest is Trey Sluvak. Sluvak is with 2 A's. If you're scoring at home.
And 2 O's.
And 2 O's.
Yeah. Can
I buy a vowel, Vanna? Right wing 3, Stevie Hall, Splash City. He's got 8. And number 1 quietly has been outstanding, maybe the best player on the court for the green and white.
He's an X factor, and here's another X factor.
Corey Sadler with a pick at midcourt. And he didn't get the 6, but he might go to the line and get 2 here.
It's interesting, right? Bringing Sadler on with a couple of personal fouls. I think more than anything, Steve Hall, Cass's head coach, understands that the mental side of the game is getting away from his team. Yes, athletically, Zeeland West can give you some issues, but they have brought the juice. They have brought the fight. And when Corey Sadler is on the floor, he doesn't let anybody slack off.
Just 2 points for Corey in this game and 1 assist. Has yet to really make a scoring impact. Cass shooting 30% from the floor, just 25% from downtown. And now 1 of 4 from the free throw line. So it's been an awful start shooting for this Cass Tech team. We know where they make their money though. on the other side of the court, and that has been a problem. Lucas Baker getting loose with a lefty reverse, and Zeeland West enjoying their largest lead of 5.
Like we were saying, well-connected group. That is a baseline cut that you've practiced a million times. Like clockwork right now for the Ducks.
Yant with 6, Alderink with 5. Knifing to the hole is Sadler, and he'll draw the foul.
So if we get another look at that last drive for Corey Sadler, if you're wondering why pretty much every school in America wants him for football, this is why. The guy goes from 0 to 60 in a second. He's at the free throw line basically standing, and then he's to the free throw line in a half of a second. When a man's still moving fast, even in slow motion, that's how you know he's pretty athletic.
Great athlete, and a guy that is a quarterback on the football team, along with return man, can play safety, really could do it all. Receiver, we didn't even mention. That's probably where he will excel at the next level. But he loves this game of basketball, and he's been a big part of the success of Cass Tech the last couple of years. Missed free throw again. Cass is 1 of 6 from the free throw line. Zeeland West trying to get to 8-3. They lost yesterday to Muskegon. Nothing to be ashamed of. But to bounce back this quickly, it's a task against the Technicians. Alderink's Baker, no good. Reset, he'll try it from the corner. That's long. Offensive rebound. And fouled is Trenton Bullhouse going up. 3 cracks at it for Zeeland West on that set.
I'm telling you, somewhere John Wooden is smiling the way that Zeeland West plays basketball. Every pass is crisp. They're in the right spots. Even after a miss, they're crashing the glass. This is a team that lost last night, Chad, and determined to not lose again today. Oh, by the way, so Zeeland West yesterday loses to Muskegon, who played in the state championship game. Lost to the team they're playing today, Cass Tech. I can't think of a tougher schedule.
Good point. Trenton Bullhouse, a 4.2 student, is at the line. Also a quarterback for the football team. Coach describes him as a competitor. And that's the kind of guy you want as a senior and one of your leaders. Free throws good. Largest lead of the night. It's a 7-point lead for Zeeland West against the reigning state champs in the state of Michigan. Lob down low is picked off. That's the pause of Baker with 2 Ks.
Right now, Cass Tech needs someone to grab the offensive reins. That's what Acuff did for them last year. You would think this year it'd be Derek Miller, but he scored exactly 2 points all game. And your other leading option is Stevie Hall, who, yeah, he's good, but he's making a lot of freshman mistakes.
Yep. That's a foul at midcourt, and most would say that's actually a good foul because 2 points were coming for the Technicians if Trey Sluvak didn't foul him there.
It's a hard foul, too, by the way. That is a football-style collision. Corey's good with that.
Substitutions, Darian Smith-Gervin will check in. Steve Hall, as Evan told you earlier, not afraid to play 10 to 12 guys. I mean, he's deep. Sadler resets. This offense at Cass Tech a bit stunned right now on the west side of the state. And Sadler lost. He throws it away, and that is insult to injury. And if that's on Corey, that's going to be his 3rd. It is. So Sadler with 3 fouls, Evan, with 2:19 to go in the second.
Yeah, so you're forced to bring Derek Miller back in, your leading scorer. And this is the type of game that, candidly, Cass needs to play if they want to make another run to the state championship game. I know they haven't lost yet this year, but you barely squeaked by Detroit Renaissance. You beat them in double overtime. That's a great team. We've already saw them this so far today. But this is the type of team that's going to give them problems going forward into the playoffs because they're long, they're big, they're athletic. And that bench for Cass Tech this year just doesn't have the size to match up, and you don't have the dominant scorer like Acuff, which can make up for deficiencies.
That's exactly right. And they don't have the experience on the court. I mean, these guys learned a lot behind that great class, but as you said, you lose all 5 starters. You lose that on-court experience. Also into the game is Aaron Graves, also a football player, wide receiver. That shot is missed from short, and Aldrink is tripped, and they call a foul or a travel on Aldrink. Can't believe it.
On that last set, though, I'd like that for Cass, because we're talking about you need someone to grab the offensive reins. Well, it's Derek Miller. Yeah, I know he missed the shot, but he drove baseline. He worked hard. And, by the way, you draw a turnover on Zeeland West. That was a good sequence.
Yep. Collins, who's checked in for Sadler, sets things up. He's the backup point guard. Graves, top of the key. Where will the technicians go? Derek Miller, rock, drive, lost it. Had it stripped, stolen away. Miles Steffen, the guilty party. Aldrink kick to the corner as the Ducks are enjoying their largest lead of the game. Aldrink in the post is well defended and chasing down that loose ball. Cass is going to get busted for the call here, I believe. No, they'll call it on Zeeland West.
Yeah, if that's on Aldrink, that's his second. That's very important. And do you risk leaving him out there? I guess, with just over a minute to go in the half. That's a big foul.
I didn't see him record the actual foul, but did they call a foul? They did. Okay. Floater, Miller, banger, no. Graves got his miss, put it back, but couldn't finish it. And here come the Ducks with a 5-on-4 hustling the other way. Job by Cass to get back defensively. Corner three, got it. That's Miles Steffen for three. And don't look now, Zeeland West is up 11.
They have held Cass Tech to 27% shooting from the field.
Wow. Not the journey from Detroit Steve Hall had in mind. His team's been playing with fire all year. They blew a 16-point lead against Detroit Western in a game that they would finally pull out and pull away, but foul trouble doomed him in that game. And today it looks like foul trouble and tough shooting are both nemesis. That one couldn't go for Miller. That would have been huge and stopped the run. Ducks trying to add to the lead. Corner three, no. No foul called at the buzzer. Ooh, that's off the glass, and that's all for the first half. So the Ducks with an 11-point lead holding Cass Tech to 16 points.
It's a big Ducks team. Long, athletic, large, and they are a large problem for Cass Tech so far today.
We got a big one coming. Don't go anywhere. Halftime interview coming up with Dr. Charles Tucker. He's next.
From an ordinary idea comes a great journey. It all starts with a simple thought, a vision of something bigger, greater than what already exists. It's that spark that ignites the passion and drive to create something truly amazing. At G-Brand, we understand this journey well. We take pride in the details and perfecting every aspect of the process, regardless of how small or big they may be. Because it's more than just a design or a shirt. It's about outfitting future champions. There's something to be said about a team coming together, each member contributing their unique skills, talents, and ideas. It's that collective effort that takes a simple idea and turns it into something truly great. The process can be excruciating, with countless hours spent tirelessly reviewing every detail. But the end result is pure and so rewarding, knowing that we've created something that will inspire greatness in those who wear it. Whether they come from a savage land or a booming metropolis, whether their numbers are 2 or 2 billion, the greatest their numbers could ever become is truly to become one. That's why at G-Brand, we're more than just a clothing company. We're a movement, a community of like-minded individuals who believe in the power of coming together to make a difference. So join us on this journey as we strive to outfit future champions and inspire greatness in all that we do. G-Brand. Now that's game.
Hi, I'm Nick DePonio, and this is HVAC.
At the half, Zeeland West has the reigning state champs on the ropes on the west side of the state. 11-point lead for the Ducks of Zeeland West over Cass Tech. Time now for our very special guest here at the Gotta Get It Classic, Dr. Charles Tucker, sports psychologist, sports agent. He was the first agent for Magic Johnson. And so many stories I can only imagine that you've come across in your years on this planet covering sports and psychology. Thanks so much for joining us, Dr. Tucker.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about this tournament and what it's meant to you to be a part of it. Mike Thomas wanted you to be a part of this. You've accepted that. And what are your thoughts on this well-run tournament for a great cause?
Well, one of the reasons that I'm here is because Mike, first of all, he's very sincere about developing young players, and to bring something to the community like this is much needed. They get an opportunity to play different competition from all over the state, and they can measure themselves, players can, in terms of how they match up before tournament time. And as far as the community, it's a great community. It got room for a lot of activity like this. So why not, if you got the best coach, bring the best program here, you know.
I want to know a little bit about how the relationship with Magic Johnson started. How did he become your client, and how were you able to represent him? And what did you know about him early on that he was going to be special?
From tournaments like this, I have a camp for 30-some years, and Magic was in my camp. Also in the school district, I was his counselor when he was 12.
Wow.
And of course he lived with me quite a bit. And so once he went to college, we decided he'd go to Michigan State and then continue that relationship. And he didn't want to be handling with anyone else except people like his father and me. So, and I had that experience, so I began to work with him, and so it kind of developed from that.
What have you seen in young players now, and the transition from players back in, we'll say, in Magic's era to now? The way these players are handled, the way that money is distributed, the way that NILs have come into play, and how has it all come back to basketball and young men and try to do the best they can and get advanced?
I think the time is a little different. Kids are different. I don't think that's a negative, and that's not a positive in many ways. I think that with the NIL situation, that's all over the place right now. Now it's coming into the high school, so they're going to have to set some type of program where they can keep the priority in the right direction. It's good to share. It's good to use finance and stuff in the right, proper way by building programs, and it's going to always be some type of recruiting. But if we have certain rules, then I think we can get by with it. But time have changed now, in particular in colleges, you know.
Magic Johnson said he wanted to work with one person. He wanted one man to represent him, and that was you. How does it feel to have somebody say that, look, you are in charge of my future and my handlings? How cool was that, and what an honor it must have been?
Well, to me, I think it's an opportunity, but I don't think of it that way. You know, he's like a family person to me, so I saw him ever since he was 12, so it's good, but it's not that big a thing, you know. But he's the best ever played the game. But before that time, I worked with Oscar Robertson and a lot of other athletes, so it wasn't new to me. But it's a good situation being. One of the reasons because he's a good person, you know, and that's always important. You know, it's good to have those celebrates, but it's more important to see how they can enhance other people to be good people. And that's what I'm basically care about.
You've worked with many, not just Magic Johnson,
Yeah.
Mateen Cleaves, Steve Smith, Judd Heathcote had some really nice words. I know he was a dear friend of yours.
Yeah.
Talk about those relationships.
Well, I love Judd because Judd make you play, get a good effort out of you, and he's a great coach. Give him 5 minutes, he's going to figure out something on you. If the game is about 10 minutes out and it's tied and they got the ball, you're going to lose because he's going to figure out a way to beat you. He's very smart, and he cares about his players. You know, he's tough on them, but he won't let the outside come involved. You know, he coaches his own way, have his own mind, and so you have to respect a guy like that. And he continued to have a relationship with his guys after they leave the university, and that's important. Tom Izzo is a close friend of mine. You know, we talk probably every day, but so he's been around a long time, so it's been good. Yeah.
We're with Dr. Charles Tucker. What an honor it is. The agent for Magic Johnson, the mentor to so many beyond Magic Johnson, and a sports psychologist and a doctor of psychology. What does psychology and sports come together?
Right now, it's about the same. It's hard to figure out. You need it every day. Matter of fact, one of the kids that I use a lot of it on now, I represent Imani Bates, you know. So,
oh, sure.
So we have to, you know, balance that out, and so he's doing very well.
We called his game against Cleveland Charge against the Motor City Cruise.
Oh, good for you.
Oh, yeah. We saw him special, won a state title. Good young man.
They didn't come here, did they?
Yeah, they came here. He put on a little bit of a show, Motor City Cruise and the G. How much more time?
I was there. I'm thinking about Grand Rapids. Yeah, Motor City. You was down there. Yeah.
Yeah, we call the cruise games down in Detroit.
I think you got about 40. I was there.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
38, I think, something like that.
When are they going to league that man, and why is he not in the league already?
He's based in the league. He's playing down half of the time.
Yeah.
But it's at his wish and my wish because I need him to get some reps. He approved he's going to be in the league, so he don't have nothing to prove. So it's very easy now to just develop.
He's Dr. Charles Tucker. It's been an honor.
Oh,
we're going to let you go, sir. Thank you very much for stopping by. We appreciate it. Dr. Tucker joining us as we get set to start the second half from the Gotta Get It Classic. Always a pleasure to hear from one of the best to ever do it. Second half is underway, and we've got a quick whistle.
It's a very important start to the second half for Cass Tech. They bring Corey Sadler back out there, even with the foul trouble that Corey has had so far in this game, Chad. This is not over, but I do think Cass is facing a real honest test for one of the first times all season.
Oh, man, you're not lying. Look at the numbers in this first half, Evan. Anything specific stand out?
Well, what stands out is what I just saw there. Again, Orion Yant down low for two. The efficiency for Zeeland West, darn near 50% shooting the ball. Cass's shooting has been bad, 25%. They are all sorts of confused.
Ducks the other way with a lay-in. Count the bucket to Steffens. And Zeeland West has come out humming, and they are doubling up the technicians right now. High post entry pass. Johnson had it blocked, but Miller's got his back. Just his 4th point of the game.
So here's what I want you to remember about Cass Tech, right? I know they're undefeated. I know they're the defending state champs. We've talked about it tonight. They've lost all 5 of their starters from last year's team. So this is a team that's still learning how to deal with adversity like what they're dealing with right now.
Evan, we talk about press Tech.
Yeah.
And the way that their defense needs to create offense for them. It hasn't happened so far in this game. Is there more pressure that we can expect to see from Cass Tech?
Yeah, but I think Steve Hall wants to see the team get a few better looks offensively before they really ramp it up. He needs that guy, Derek Miller, to start hitting shots like that. I mean, when your leading scorer on the year, Derek Miller, has only scored 2 points in the first half, I don't care who you're playing, you're not going to win a lot of ball games like that.
No doubt. Point leaders in this game, 8 points for Stevie Hall to lead the way, just a freshman, 2 of 4 from downtown. Left hand layup blocked, but there was a foul, and that's going to send Lee Harris line right to try to get 2 points and stop the bleeding.
Oh, by the way, that's another foul on Alderink. That's the 3rd on the Ducks' best player. There's darn near the entire second half to go. Cass is still in the thick of the fight, but they got to get back to doing what they do. Efficiency on offense and a defense that gives you nightmares.
Not very efficient at the free throw line, just 1 of 6 in this game. Expect that trend to change. Harris with a free throw. Alderink's going to have to sit with those 3 fouls, as Evan mentioned. And the Ducks with an X will check in Trey Sluthak, the junior guard. Glad to be at the Gotta Get It Classic, our 3rd straight year being at this wonderful showcase event. They split the pair. He's Evan Stockton. My name's Chad Bush. Alex Westfall, your executive producer. We're here for 7 games. This is the 3rd of 7.
We're not even halfway there.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Amen. A lot of basketball left to watch today.
Yeah, a lot of fun to be had. Got the hospitality suite open. Chick-fil-A on the way. Life's good. Kick, corner, 3. Trenton Bullhouse, no. And that's a shot clock violation, and that's going to shut down the Corey Sadler run-out drill.
But that's good for Cass Tech. They just got to keep adding things together, keep building and building. Because what Cass Tech really wants is to get this thing down to like 8 or 6 points. Then they ramp up the pressure. Then Zeeland West gets confused, and all of a sudden it's a tie game. But they got to get it closer to really amp up the pressure. That's why these next few minutes in the 3rd quarter are really, really important.
Yeah, just waiting to see when and how much pressure needs to be applied. Steve Hall not panicking. That pass is at the bottom of the backboard, and West is going to try to take advantage. Orion with another move. Oh, my. Orion Yant with a bucket.
He's been their best player.
Yeah.
10 points. It's tough to be better than Merritt Alderink, but while he sits with foul trouble, this is on Yant to make sure that Cass Tech doesn't get within sniffing distance.
Alderink with half the amount of points. Mr. Yant. Timeout, Steve Hall. He wants to talk it over, so will we. So, Zeeland West has been all the rage in this one. They're trying to get an upset. A lot of chicken left on the bone. The champs aren't going down without a fist fight. Back after this.
Years of playing sports took a toll on my feet. The worst was the tear in my Achilles tendon. I went to fix my feet today, and I've been pain-free for 2 years. I'm back to pickleball 5 days a week. Amazing!
I've been fixing foot pain for decades. Don't give up hope. Call or visit Fix My Feet today.
Fix My Feet is now open in Rochester Hills, located on Rochester Road in the Target Center. Come in for a free consultation.
Today's game is proudly sponsored by Miller Johnson Attorneys, where the growth in Michigan is at the core of our practice. Miller Johnson. Chad and Evan back with you. Your officials in this ball game: Rodney Suggs, Nate Kims, and Joe Broussard. Also want to thank the Power Initiative. Brought to you by the Power Initiative. This ball game, a social profit agency that engages in strategic projects, programs, and services that support communities to identify gaps and facilitate solutions. Chad and Evan back with you. Power layup, no. Cleaned out of there by guess who? Mr. Yant. Got offers from Hope and Albion and Olivet, but I got something to say. This kid is a higher level player than I think Division III. And there's nothing wrong with Division III. You got to be really good to play Division III college basketball. But I think this kid's above that.
And that's the type of player for Zeeland West that has given Cass Tech the issues. That's why they're trailing by so many in this game. Still time for Cass Tech to go, but like we've been talking about, someone's got to take the reins for them offensively.
Stevie Hall tried to be that guy. Not there. It's an air biscuit, and it's going to go back to the Ducks.
I've seen today from Stevie Hall why so many think he's going to be really, really good. And I've also seen why his dad says, look, let's pump the brakes. He's a freshman. He's made some mistakes. He's had a couple of missed shots. He's had a couple of turnovers. And now he's going to sit and get some coaching.
This is a team that shoots the three ball well, Cass Tech. Not in this game. 3 of 16, Evan. Does it even out?
With the way that Zeeland West has pressured them, I don't know.
Miles Steffen says, who cares? We're going to keep hitting threes. Miller to the rack, lays it in, and the foul. He'll do it the old-fashioned way.
Derek Miller, at some point, you figure he's going to come unglued. Great drive to the basket here through the contact, scoring on Kai Anderson. But, man, you're looking at this scoreboard right now going, I know there's a shot clock. I know there's still half the third quarter to go, but Zeeland West, yeah, 36 points, but Cass Tech has only scored 22. They are all sorts of confused.
Cass Tech relying on Miller, a guy that's been a 3-year starter. He's going to have to check out here. And back into the ball game comes Trevin Parnham, the 10th technician we've seen tonight. Aldering back in there. He lost it and out of bounds. And Cass has really stymied him the last quarter and a half.
Guy who made the play there for Cass was Lee Harris, tipping it out as Aldering drove in. Merritt's on the floor with 3 fouls, so he's going to have to play a little bit defensively differently. I do wonder if Cass Tech tries to exploit that. The problem is Harris, their best big down there, only 2 points, and we haven't seen a ton of Amari Johnson, who's still working his way back into shape.
Corey Sadler will check out. Collins will check in. Topside triple from the most unlikely of triple sources. Trayvon Parnham, Splash City.
Here comes that pressure.
Yep. Always better after a make. You can actually press after a make, something Cass hasn't had a lot of today.
Well, Zeeland West showing us how fundamentally sound they've been all day, breaks that, and then gets Baker up the floor. Such a mismatch. 3-on-3. Baker at 6'5", number 3 for Zeeland West, against Miller, who's listed at 5'11" for Cass Tech.
Baker is committed to Hope College. He will play where they have heated sidewalks. In Holland, Michigan, home of Carsey Walker, our graphics designer. Got a guy who's trying out for some Major League Baseball teams as we speak right now. I know that's random, but...
You mean trying out in terms of doing graphics or playing baseball?
No, he's a professional pitcher.
Okay.
And he also is creating our graphics.
How about that?
Yeah. If things don't work out in the bigs, he's got a gig here at the Prep.
Are you saying I may be seeing him playing against the Syracuse Mets this summer? Is that what you're saying?
He'd have to elevate a couple levels,
Yeah.
but there's a chance the lefty Walker could get in.
Okay.
And make a push against your Syracuse Mets. Almost time to talk some baseball.
I need it. It's too cold outside, man. When I got in the car this morning, it said 1 degree. I'm like, I'm never complaining about sweating my butt off in a press box in July ever again.
Dribble drive cut off. That's Collins with a quick hands. Pesky defense. Zeeland West keeps it alive. Aldrink gets the easy loose change lay-in. He's got 7, and the Ducks increase that lead to 13. Shot blocked. Aldrink picks it up. West on the run. Twist, turn, and a foul is drawn. And the Ducks are getting comfy offensively. Miles Steffen's been at the head of a lot of the discomfort.
We're going to have a couple of matchups today still of West Side against East Side. This clearly meant a lot to Zeeland West. Off the loss to Muskegon yesterday. Playing the defending state champs. Quick turnaround. Still time, but this is the type of victory that will make quite a few people across the state pay attention.
It certainly would be. Jacob Wood will check in for Cass Tech. Collins will sit. Miller sits. Steve Hall trying to get the right guard combinations together. No combinations have really worked. They're shooting 27% from the floor. And Zeeland West continues to grow the lead. It's now 14, a 2-touchdown lead in EK. Three-pointer, no. Reverse lay-in is good, oh so casually. Welcome to the scoring column, Aaron Graves, a wide receiver for the Cass Tech Technicians. Team that won the city title in football. Marvin Rushing, the fine head coach in his 3rd year. Corner kick 3 long. Picked up by who else? Oh, Ryan. What a day it's been for the Ant-Man.
I mean, he's got to be the leader in the clubhouse for RG of the game. He has just been all over the place, making a name for himself against the defending state champs.
There's a pick and a swipe and an easy lane. That's Kai Anderson. Kai with K-H-I is how it's spelled, but the lead is B-I-G right now. It's a 16-point lead, the largest of the afternoon for the Ducks.
And I also want you to pay attention to who's on the floor right now for Cass Tech. Good three-pointer that falls in there as yet another new face is into the lineup. That's Jacob Wood. Look who's not on the floor right now. No Sadler, no Miller, no Amari Johnson, no Lee Harris. I think Coach Steve Hall's trying to prove a point.
I think you're right. Good observation. There's a pick, and that's a foul that's going to go on Miles Steffen and Zeeland West. And now Derek Miller will check back in. Steve Hall knows he needs to get that three-point thing going. His team just 5 of 20 in this game from distance.
By the way, we weren't lying to you about Cass Tech playing 10 or 12 guys in the game. Today they've played 13.
Wow.
They play the whole team.
They brought 13, I think. Stevie Hall, southpaw 3, no good, it's long. Shot clock does not reset. Hall kicks in the paint, fresh find, Graves couldn't finish. Zeeland West is fouled at the top of the key. That is foul number 4 in this quarter, a quarter that's about to expire.
Quarter that has seen Zeeland West maintain this double-digit lead on Cass Tech. I think part of the reason why Steve Hall right now is tinkering with guys is he knows this is not the end-all and be-all depending on how this game ends. He's trying to find right rotations to match up with what Zeeland West is doing.
Rip, drive, kick, corner, 3, got it. Splash City at the buzzer. They will count it. Wow. Steffen on tilt. Zeeland West on the move. And the reigning champs on the ropes. We're back to Grand Rapids for the 4th. Don't go anywhere right after this.
Adam, take 2, Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
There you see Dave Klinn, the Zeeland West head coach, born in Pella, Iowa, all the way from Pella, Iowa, in his 9th season. He was a Cyclone in college, went to Northwestern College, played some golf, and also coaches golf, fittingly enough, but he's got his team playing great basketball right now against another team in green.
Yeah, clearly Zeeland West, as we've been talking about, fresh off that loss to Muskegon last night, wanted to prove a point, playing back-to-back teams that played for a state championship last year. I know this Cass Tech team looks different than the one they had last year. I don't care. Zeeland West is making a bunch of people notice this score.
It's a zone defense to start the 4th for West, who's played a little bit of everything defensively to try to muck it up, and they've done just that. Cass Tech shooting just 29% for the ball game from the floor, 24% from downtown, and 33% from the free throw line. Maybe the worst shooting output in a couple of years for Cass Tech. Just one loss last year for the Technicians, and Corey Sadler out of sorts, has to force it up. Leaking out the other way, lay-in's good, and Miles Steffen's got himself an afternoon. A dozen now for Steffen to tie Yant for the team high. And a turnover for Cass Tech. That is their 10th of the ball game.
Just this effort today from Zeeland West. What a pass by Alderink. Up the floor, wide open man for 2. Steffen laying it in. We had heard about this Zeeland West team coming in. Hey, pay attention. They could give Cass Tech problems. They're up by darn near 20 points and making guys slip and fall like they're on a hockey rink.
Oh, the oohs and ahs. They've grown as the night has grown longer. Long corner left, Yant trying to continue his clinic. 2-teamed and fouled. The foul's going to go on Lee Harris. That'll be Harris's 2nd.
And that is the thing to watch for Cass Tech going forward. I mean, you've seen the issues that Zeeland West's athleticism and size has given Cass Tech today. As another 3 is good, my goodness.
Lucas Baker with a banger from the top side. He's got 7, and the lead has grown to 21 blackjack for the Ducks. Left wing 3, no. And a fresh 35 and reset for Sadler.
But to finish the point, the problem for Cass Tech is today their bigs have given them nothing. Lee Harris, 2 points. Amari Johnson, 0. That is not going to beat a lot of teams like Zeeland West going forward.
How much of an effect is it when you're trying to work in a new big that hasn't played a lot?
Well, it's like bringing anybody back, right? That's a good shot there by Derek Miller. Steve Hall's going to call a timeout. But it's about bringing back anybody, right? Especially someone like Amari Johnson who's been sick, he's been hurt. You're just trying to get his sea legs back underneath him. That's why you've only seen Amari in about 3-4 minute spurts.
Well, we saw Renaissance get a win, an 8-point win last game. Lance Stone get his 1,000th point. And we see their rival Cass Tech here in trouble. We'll see Detroit King coming up here shortly.
Yep.
And we'll see 3 of the best in the Detroit Public School League here today in a row. Steve Hall, there he is, one of the best in the state. How about the state title last year? He's had 3 already going into last year. In Class D, Detroit Rogers. This is a guy that also coached at Detroit Northwestern and was an assistant at Division I Duquesne, along with Youngstown State. Cass Tech proud grad of 1988, where he averaged only 31 points a game before moving on to Washington to be a Husky and Virginia Tech to be a Hokie.
Is that real? I didn't know that about Coach Hall. 31 points a game.
Yeah, he could ball now.
That's nuts.
Yep, very humble score too. Not a lot to say after it. Great guy, and we're glad to do multiple games with him. We'll see Cass Tech again. We don't think we'll see Zeeland West again, but you never know. They might want some prep broadcasts.
I mean, with the way that they've played while being broadcast on the prep, they should want every game covered.
Who wouldn't? Cross-court pass, hot knife through butter. Aldrink misses the shot short. Cass Tech trying to make up some ground. Sadler to the rack and fouled going up. Coach Klin does not like that call. Corey line right, where things have not been easy. That is foul number 4. Did they get Aldrink on that?
I believe they did, yeah.
Okay. Cass Tech will play their rival King next week. And that's a matchup that's always circled for the boys on the Boulevard and the Green Guys.
Yeah, that game coming up on Tuesday. Cass Tech within the PSL has not lost yet this year, but they've had those tough games we talked about, beat Renaissance in double overtime. Mumford, Western, Henry Ford they've already played within the city. As Chad told you earlier, that Western game nearly got out of hand. Cass was leading that game by double digits and almost lost.
Yeah, living on the ropes for a little bit. Might have caught up with them tonight. And it's also not a bad thing to take an L at some point during the season. It helped Cass last year win a title.
That's an outstanding point. Steve Hall never wants to lose, but I think in the back of his mind, right, with a young team that still hadn't lost, he's going to be able to really get their attention after the way today has gone.
Yep. Pass down low to Yance, and that's whistled, and that's going to stay this way. They'll say it was tipped by the guys in black. Ball out of bounds, baseline left, with the team from the west side of the state on top by 17. Time running out on the Technicians, but we talked about how they score in waves by forcing turnovers like they did there.
Yeah, and Zeeland West can't bleed out the clock the rest of this game because we're running a shot clock here at the Gotta Get It Classic, 35 seconds. So, yes, there's still time for Cass Tech, but a lot of things to take away from them going forward, which are going to help them play a lot better than today.
There's a trip and a foul. Amazing to see our stats, and we are always grateful for our stats and our stat crew, Pat the Stat and J-Mo. 19 turnovers for Zeeland West in this game. Cass with 10, yet they're still on top by 17. How is this happening?
Well, look at some of the other stats. Zeeland West has taken 7 less shots, but they're shooting 56% from the field. Meanwhile, Cass Tech is not even shooting 30% in this game. They're 4 of 11 from the free throw line. They've made just as many threes. Zeeland West has 6, but Cass Tech has taken 6 more. Aside from the turnovers, it's been a much more efficient day.
Yep. To the hole, Miller draws the foul. Clock stops. Instant points needed for the Technicians. Miller line right, a 21-point scorer who's been stymied tonight. Yant got him there.
What do you think? Is Orion Yant our G of the game? We got a few choices here for Zeeland West if they end up winning this thing.
I think we're going to wait this thing out because so many things can happen. I think it's too tight right now to call. Yant will check in. However, we are taking votes, and if you want to submit your vote now, who am I to tell you you can?
man, see, this is where it gets tough because Stefan has 15 points. Alderink's numbers are down, but clearly if you've been watching this game, you know how good he is. I don't know. I think Yant's been the difference maker for me. That's who I would go with at this time.
That's fair. I would not argue with that yet. A lot of chicken left on the bone. Just under 5 to go. Here comes the Cass Tech press. Yant back in there, two-teamed, and a ticky-tack foul. And Sadler and Yant starting to get a little emotional. Corey didn't appreciate that. So you don't need to be doing that.
Nice job by our officiating crew. As soon as that happened, yes, they both started talking to each other, and he's right in front of us, so I could hear him say, whoa, 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 none of that after the whistle.
Yeah.
Good job.
C.J. Sadler, a very classy competitor. That three's good from the corner. Count it. Lucas Baker with another triple, and he wants to be a part of the discussion as well. Shot up. No. 54-38. It's the largest lead of the game. It's 18 points. Miller trying to will his team back.
Great shot on one end by Baker. The other three-pointer down for Zeeland West. They've hit 7 in this game. Barring an amazing comeback here, Cass is going to lose for just the second time. This is true. Second time in the last 669 days.
You did that math?
I did, yeah.
That is amazing.
But if they want to make sure they're winning more than they're losing the rest of the way, this is the guy. Because watching this game, you could tell that Cass Tech did not have someone like Darius Acuff just to grab the reins offensively in this game. Stevie Hall's good, but it has to be Derek Miller's team in games like this where the offense grows cold.
We saw Miller show out against Chelsea in a game we did back on the 27th of December. 58-51, Cass Tech beat Chelsea on that day. And Derek Miller has 6 triples and 10 tries and 21 points. There's more days like that ahead for the technicians.
Absolutely. It's a team that their best basketball is still in front of them. I got a sneaking suspicion with the way that this game has gone, Cass Tech's never going to sleepwalk into any ball game the rest of the year.
Yant back to the top, and the boys from Zeeland trying to run some clock, and that's off the tips of Fish. And if he's 5'9" and not 5'8.5", that's a catch.
Little high.
Yeah, a little high. There's Fish.
There he is.
Yeah, there's the champ.
Oh, man, that's more athletic than I've looked in years. Good for you, Fish.
We get a replay of that? Maybe. All right.
We'll get there.
We'll get there someday. I mean, Fish usually has a 50-point, 20-rebound game, and he gets screen time, but that catch would have been something. We digress. We're under 4 minutes. Zeeland West by 15. Missed shot. And that one would have helped.
The rims here are tough sometimes. There's been a bunch of roll-offs where you think that thing is going in. Tough rims here at the East Kentwood Fieldhouse.
A little tight. We got to talk to Mike Thomas about this place. Very hard to find a flaw on this campus of East Kentwood, but the rims might be the only beef.
I mean, there's a reason why Mike Thomas is here. Ty Spencer just came over from Detroit King. They have made an investment here at East Kentwood to get their sports teams back where they want it to be. Zeeland West, with the way that this game has shaped up, going to like what they see from their basketball team, at least today.
Omar Bakri, the guy that's been responsible for bringing Mike Thomas and Ty Spencer from the east side to the west side. We'll talk to him at halftime of the final game. Free throw up and good. Miles Steffen. Stevie Hall, 8 points in the first half. Runner no good. Cleaned up by Orion Yant. Here comes that blitz and pressure. 4 more games to go after this one's over with. 3 minutes left. Stick around for our G of the game. Playing keep away, trying to test this shot clock out. See if it works. 3 in front of his bench, Miles Steffen, and he stole it right back from Stevie. And West will hide the pill for a little longer.
I mean, you look at this Zeeland West team as they're dribbling out, Chad, what's going to be a win over the defending state champs. First time Cass has lost since winning the state championship. I know they lost to Muskegon yesterday, but this is a Zeeland West team that is going to make a lot of noise going forward. Mona Shores, Reese Puffer on the docket this week. It's a good team.
Team to keep an eye on. Missed shot, got it back. Lay-in is good. That's Kai Anderson with a bucket. And that should put the baby to bed with 2 minutes to go. Stevie Hall, 3-point attempt, no. And it's all over but the shouting in West Michigan. Steve Hall about to empty his bench. I guess they had a couple more players that hadn't played. That'll be 15.
They've literally played the whole team today, yep.
Rip, drive, Steffen, dump, got it, and the foul. That's Lucas Baker with a bucket. He's got 14. And he wants a part of that new G of the game hat. Look at that feet, that's fresh from Steffen.
Baker hits this free throw, that's 10 points. So he scored 10, Steffen scored at least 10, Yant had 12, Steffen had 16. Anderson off the bench had 10. Alderink, he had some foul trouble in this game, so Merritt, the D1 guy going to Indiana State, only scored 7.
Interesting.
What a game. Seriously, how impressive by Zeeland West. A lot of people are going to see this score. I'm sure a lot of people are watching right now. Can't believe what that score actually is. It's a 21-point lead over the defending state champs. Wow.
Unbelievable. With 50 seconds left.
Chad, if you wouldn't mind as well, I want to give a little love to number 4 on Zeeland West, who's out there right now, Will Skaggs. You can see a big, bulky brace on his left knee. Will also plays football. He got hurt in football practice a year or so ago. He tore his ACL, PCL, and LCL. They thought they maybe would have to amputate his knee. Will, number 4 for Zeeland West, has battled so hard, and he's getting to play against the defending state champs. Really, really cool. Congratulations to him.
Good to see him here, back in this game and healthy. We want to thank all those folks watching. Follow us on our social media. Subscribe. Exactly where you're watching right now on our YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate that. If you've got comments, you want to email us, we're happy to get anything. Criticism, compliments, shout outs, whatever. info@theprepsports.com. You can find us on the Gram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, the whole deal. LinkedIn as well. We got to get that LinkedIn up there. LinkedIn's coming on. Gary V told me so. All right. He's Evan Stockton. My name's Chad Bush. Game 3 is about to end. And the only thing left to decide really is who the G of the game is going to be. Do you want to cast your vote again? Has it changed?
I mean, I still think you have to go Yant with the way that he affected the game in multiple ways, but you could go with their leading scorer, Steffen. He was pretty good, too.
All right. I think we'll have to find out. We usually tell what it is. We're going to wait on this one. We're going to let the folks think about it. Pat the Stats really fighting for a certain player, and I don't know why. Somebody slip you a 20, Pat, or what? Dribble drive, Corey, and he got hammered. And this is a point where a guy like Sadler's in late. You want him to get his minutes, but at some point, do you maybe get him out after seeing him fall to the floor?
If you're asking me, no. He hasn't played a lot today. He's been in foul trouble. I got to play him. So yeah. I would play him. And that's just me. And if he gets hurt, well, it's on me. But I think Corey's got to play. It's been an uneven day for him.
One of the leaders on this team, just a 10th grader, fabulous two-sport athlete. There's probably not a better athlete in this building today. 5-star quarterback receiver, safety, and a 5-star young man as well. You saw that sportsmanship earlier. Some kids would have flown off the handled that differently. He didn't. He very calmly went over to the player and quietly said, "Don't do that again." Which I thought was more intimidating than somebody making a loud noise. Dead spot left 3, Lincoln Jipping missed the shot, and the rebound down low by the big boy who's checked in, Jacob McLaren. And McLaren's going to go line left and try to check himself into the scoring column.
They call Jacob Big Mac. It makes sense. He's 6'5", 200. He looks like that. I'd call him Big Mac too. And I'm hungry again now.
Good motor on him. 6'5". Speaking of Big Macs, has anybody placed that order for Chick-fil-A yet?
I love how you're soliciting the lunch order on live TV. There
I know. Sometimes you just need to get an order in, and there's no time to translate or send hand signals. The hospitality tent is sweet, but when you got Chick-fil-A down the road, I think you need to dabble in it. No Tommy group in sight here. Free throw's good. 3-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Zeeland West by 19. Stevie Hall, no good. Just has not been Cass Tech's day shooting the basketball. Very good shooting team usually with Miller, Hall, Sadler, but it's been all Ducks today.
Heck of an effort. There's going to be a lot of people who notice this score. Maybe some people who watch back this game and go, we got to start paying attention to Zeeland West. Score one for the West Side, Chad. They love it when East Side teams come over here and they take it to them. That is exactly what Zeeland West just did.
Time has expired in Game 3 of the Gotta Get It Classic. And the Ducks win it. They knock off the state champs from a year ago, Cass Tech, 61-42. G of the game is next. We're the Prep. Thanks for watching. Don't go anywhere.
From an ordinary idea comes a great journey. It all starts with a simple thought, a vision of something bigger, greater than what already exists. It's that spark that ignites the passion and drive to create something truly amazing. At G-Brand, we understand this journey well. We take pride in the details and perfecting every aspect of the process, regardless of how small or big they may be. Because it's more than just a design or a shirt. It's about outfitting future champions. There's something to be said about a team coming together, each member contributing their unique skills, talents, and ideas. It's that collective effort that takes a simple idea and turns it into something truly great. The process can be excruciating, with countless hours spent tirelessly reviewing every detail. But the end result is pure and so rewarding, knowing that we've created something that will inspire greatness in those who wear it. Whether they come from a savage land or a booming metropolis, whether their numbers are 2 or 2 billion, the greatest their numbers could ever become is truly to become one. That's why at G-Brand, we're more than just a clothing company. We're a movement, a community of like-minded individuals who believe in the power of coming together to make a difference. So join us on this journey as we strive to outfit future champions and inspire greatness in all that we do. G-Brand. Now that's game.
Welcome back to East Kentwood. This ball game is over. Zeeland West knocks off the reigning state champions from Detroit Cass Tech. And one of the guys that made a huge impact in this, our G of the game, is Orion Yance. 6 of 6 from the floor. You pretty much own the boards as well. Congratulations, young man, on knocking off Cass Tech, the champs from a year ago. How does it feel?
It feels great. When we saw our schedule last year, we were all worried because we had to play Muskegon the night before. Then we had to come to EK and play Cass Tech. But just beating them just feels really good, and it gives our team confidence.
What do you think? What do you think it took to beat Cass Tech today? What were the keys to beating them?
The keys to beating them, we just had to play together. we've come to learn that if we play together, we can be really good, and when we don't, we're not as good. So it's just that simple.
Multiple players making an impact. I know Merritt Aldering gets a lot of the run, but you had several players step up today. Baker was one of them. Stephen was another. How does it feel to have a collective effort?
It's not something you see every day, but just us being able to do that just feels really good. Because most of the time, when we're just chilling with like our team, it's like, oh, Merritt's gonna do our scoring. So when we all can come together and score, then it just feels really nice.
And then the last one for you. So a lot of people are going to notice the score. A lot of people are going to notice you just beat Cass Tech. What would you like them to know about the Zeeland West Ducks that maybe they didn't know before today?
We just gotta stay humble. We're a humble team, and if we continue that, we're gonna be scary.
There he is, Orion Yant.
Yeah.
Congratulations, young man.
Thank you.
Congrats, guy.
Appreciate it. He's our G of the game. Game 3 is in the books. Zeeland West knocks off Cass Tech 61-42. Game 4 coming up. And we've got it for you right here. South Christian against Warren Lincoln. For my partner, Evan Stockton, and your executive producer, Alex Westfall, my name's Chad Bush saying so long from East Kentwood. The Ducks knock off the Technicians by 19. Back after this.